We are live. Hey, welcome everybody to the third episode of Interviews from the Other Side, hosted by myself, Zero Alpha, and usually by the lovely Rose Jackson, but unfortunately she can't make it today. So I'm going to be rolling solo, and it is my great pleasure to welcome Raecreate, aka Raygun, for this week's interview. An amazing artist that does a lot of different things. We were just talking about we can't pinpoint that one down, but it's probably like a lot of us. So yeah, how you doing, Ray?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me here, Zero Alpha. Hi, everyone who's tuning in.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, like I said before, we just kicked this off with a little bit of news just to get the thing flowing. You had anything going on this week, or you had any projects or anything like that for this week?
Yeah, I've been just finishing off. It was really great. I was made um, fine art curator for the new wallet for the Apes Run the World
Oh, cool.
project.
Yep.
So they have an investment wallet where they obviously share profits with the community,
Yep.
and so that they've half of that is for your profile pictures type art, and then I said it'd be really great to have a bit of fine artist as well, but something that's other than profile pics. So
Yeah.
we just finished off looking at the last ones of those and picking and buying those NFTs. So it's been so cool to see that come together and yeah, make the day of these artists by saying we've bought your work.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, myself, I was just explaining to Ray, sort of a little bit of a break from Twitter. I've got new projects underway, so kind of got my head down in the studio. I'm playing with a lot of analog gear, just sort of coming up with some new workflows using analog gear and piping that into Touch Designer. So yeah, it's cool, like learning new things. And once you go down the rabbit hole, it kind of sucks you down a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I had a drop on OpenSea, which was real cool. It sold out even before I kind of dropped it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
crazy.
good.
Yeah, it was real cool. I had people DM me, I just want that now. Can you put it up for sale? I'm like, yep, sweet ass.
Nice.
But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, cool. So, so Ray, I would love to hear about your journey as an artist. I was looking over your CV. You've got a pretty amazing background of exhibitions dating back to like 2000. I know you are originally from the UK, now living in New Zealand. And yeah, I would love to hear about what you've been up to over these last decade or so.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of from everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I came. Oh gosh, look, pretty artistic as a kid, but never really made anything of it. And then I decided, at one point to have a bit of education in that. So I went and did a art and design 3-year course on that, where you get to try everything. It's
Nice.
probably where I get my everything, have a dabble in everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was really encouraged by them to go on and do a degree in fine art, specialised in sculpture, and into one of the most renowned sculpture university courses in London at Wimbledon School of Art. Just loved that, and then I immediately after that, graduating from that, I organised lots of shows and things like that because we didn't have a lot of space there. And it being an art school, everybody wanted to use the space. So organised some art exhibitions,
Yeah.
WSA 11. So took over a building at the train station. So we got a lot of foot traffic. So that was really cool.
That's cool.
And it was my first experience actually making art for outdoors,
Mm.
which a lot of people don't get a chance to. So, out of that big clean white box and yeah, out and thinking about how to secure art from being stolen or damaged. That was another thing because you can't control who's coming through.
Yeah.
That was lots of fun.
I had a little bit of experience in that. I did my first outdoor installation for Matariki here in Takaka, and yeah, it threw in a lot of funny things, you know, like I'm taking my gear outside. It was in the middle of winter. I was like, shit, like condensation on like my really expensive rig, and then we had to like do all the scaffolding, think about all the crowds and sort of how to
Health and
petition them off.
safety.
Yeah, health and
Yeah, all
safety.
the things you don't have to think about in a gallery. You know,
Yeah,
you put your work in a gallery, A, someone else usually looks after it.
yeah,
And B, everyone has that kind of unspoken word of don't touch.
yeah.
As soon as you put something outside, that's it. It's a free for all.
It's free for all. Yeah, yeah. And then we had kids as well. We had young performers, which was another cool thing to do, which was real cool. Hey, that's cool. So after college and all of that, you continued your practice?
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a gap really. I graduated and then I moved. I got married and then moved to Australia.
Yep.
So the setting up of a new life, my art kind of took a bit of a back seat for quite a while.
Yeah.
Did little bits here and there, but then I just made it over to here and travelled a lot in between after leaving Australia. So my sculpture practice came back around to being more photography based.
Yep.
Just because obviously when you're moving around a lot and traveling, it's not always easy to do a sculpture or an installation. So the documentation became a major part of the artwork.
Yep.
So that's where the performance side or the happenings side of that comes out in my work at the moment.
Yeah, cool. So the happening side, could you dive into that a little bit? Because that's kind of how I first sort of, maybe you described yourself to me when we were talking through DMs.
Yeah, so happenings or performance art. So it's not a theatre-based art. It's actually a performance, a happening, an event, an art event, but there's no audience.
Yeah.
So this happens with just me and the artwork. And the documentation of that becomes the artwork. That's where the audience is then allowed to participate in the work.
Okay.
But it also means that there is it becomes quite a rare thing then, because I quite often don't do a series. So it may be one of one, which is usual in my work. And I'm just starting now to do more series because I'm doing a lot more of this performance work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what it is. So it can be a micro performance. So it's almost like a macro landscape.
Okay.
But also a lot of bigger experience, as some of the work shows on my website, my Twitter profile too.
Yeah, whereabouts on the website is it under, is any of it, which is it under photography? I'm just going to bring it up and have a wee look.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because one of them is with the car that you had.
Yeah.
Where would that be under on your website?
Well, let's have a look on the website. So it should be under happenings. Yeah.
I don't think I am. There we are. Hold on, I'm going to bring this up now.
Go.
Right, let me change this over. All right, we can see those now. These are the ones, the happenings.
Oh no, they're not the happenings, but that's okay. That was different. So go to that top one. That's it. In the happenings burger bar at the side.
Oh yeah, I got you.
There you go, on the right. You can go to happenings. That's what's coming up. It's not what's coming up on my screen, but that's all cool.
We'll get there.
I can talk a little bit about this one.
Let's get into these ones.
This was oh gosh, I had really big plans for for this work, and it kind of took on a bit of a life of its own and a direction all of its own. So this is an old shack that is down by the beach, as you can see, which has been there for years. So it's like a local legend, and it's a lot of local legends have been created there. A lot of people have had a lot of fun in that shack.
I can bet. Yeah. I know.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
And obviously it's become really derelict, but no one wants to knock it down because it is this iconic building that everybody in Hawke's Bay seems to know about. So in this town, in this area of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And as you'd know, as a Kiwi, having a sofa on your front porch
It's compulsory.
is a bit of a thing. It's a bit of a thing here. And also, so tied up within this, so it was called the Throne.
Yeah.
So the a throne, and the dais where a throne sits is that area that you own. That's your place. That's your, that's your castle, and your home is your castle. You choose what goes there. And in New Zealand, everyone's got that throne on the front porch. That's where you receive the minions that come in, like a king. So you receive your family, your friends. That's where you greet everyone. It's where you chill out, you tell your stories, you share your tears and your laughter. So it's a special place. Also linking that to the Pepe on the marae.
Yep.
Too. That's an area where people do gather at the front of the marae. When it's especially unofficially, again, just you talk over a bit of business, a bit of catch up, a bit of history, passing on knowledge. And all over the world, I've travelled a lot. Everyone has this kind of area. And it doesn't matter what your throne looks like. It doesn't matter what your castle looks like. It's still a place where you can belong. It's still a place where you have all these memories. You share all these... There's me. So what happened was this was going to be national and then global.
Yep.
So I made a billboard. So down in Wellington, our capital city, there's the Art Week. And I didn't join the Art Week. I decided to art bomb the Art Week.
Nice.
So I arranged to make this billboard.
Yeah.
So I snagged a billboard, which was on one of the busiest crossroads in Wellington, just opposite the War Memorial. And I got myself a QR code, which was big enough. We tested it so it was big enough that as you drove past, you could hit it with your phone.
Yeah.
And take you straight to the website and tell you a bit more about the work. And I was getting people I wanted people to come and then interact. And then I was going to put some sofas out as well by the poster and around.
Yeah.
So repurpose these sofas so that people can get together and be that community, be welcoming. But I put that out, the poster went up, and we had our first lockdown.
Oh no.
For the whole of New Zealand. So there was no going back to Wellington to put sofas out. But a gallery up in Auckland actually gave me a call and said, we'd really like to do our first online exhibition.
Yep.
And we'd like you to put this piece of work in for that online exhibition. So it's almost like pre-NFT.
Yep. Yep.
So it was the first digital exhibition, and I put this on, and we invited people to post photographs of their front porches, their places where they receive and have family and friends come.
Yeah, on their throne.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't have to be in the picture; you could just take a photo of it. So we had quite good feedback from that. That's now been papered over, so it's permanently there, which is I like. So it as I say, it kind of took on a bit of a life of its own, and actually now that shack has now been taken away recently. It was disappeared overnight.
Where's it gone?
A coffee shop will be built there.
Oh. I'd say the locals would be pretty gutted at that, actually.
The locals are pretty gutted. I managed to get down there and retrieve a board and a piece of the corrugated iron from the building. So I have 2 pieces of that. So all that's left now is this documentation of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of come back around and fed into my practice, really.
Yeah.
So that's me in Wellington.
I love the fact that you basically just art bombed it. There would have been lots of people rolling around that knew it was Art Week, and they'll be seeing that, like, oh, where's this one? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty crafty.
Yeah, exactly. And all those processes of having to put artwork in, and all the selection committees and all of that sort of crap that goes on. And if anyone's listening from like the in real life art scene, you know what it's like. There are the favorites, and it's not always easy to get out there and get up there. So just make your own rules.
It's probably one of the best shells I've ever seen.
It's pretty shilly.
Yeah.
Pretty shilly.
That's good. That's good.
So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, sweet. Let's try and find this. I want to try and find this happenings.
Okay, at the top at the top one. So
hold on. Yep, I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I was looking at. That's pretty cool.
This one.
Run us through this once it loads up.
Okay, is it coming up?
Doesn't seem to want it. Here she comes. This isn't on Hackett Nook, is it?
No, it's actually no, not yet.
Yeah.
First Hackett Nook will come either today or tomorrow.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, I want to hear about that drop after we talk about this.
Yeah. So there's no particular order of this one. So it's quite a personal piece.
Yeah.
So this is called The Leaving. And when you leave a place, and how you leave a place and what you take with you, I feel shows a lot about why you left and what was going on before you left.
Yeah.
So this is about leaving a bad relationship, and lots of people have had bad relationships. There's different types of abuse in relationships, not just physical, but mental abuse, and ghosting. There's a lot of ghosting and all of these sorts of things, and narcissistic behavior that goes on, and that's getting a lot more exposure now, which is great. But this is sometimes when you leave, you've got time to take everything with you. You can pack all your packing boxes. You've got all your delicate things in there. You wrap them in paper and then bubble wrap so that they're precious and they get to the other end. And then you can be in your next place of abode, of home. Sometimes you only get to salvage yourself, because you have to leave, and you've got to leave now. And you've made that choice, and it's not an easy choice.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and so you've just got to go. And when it's got to that point when you are broken and you're in disrepair, you still need to go on. You've got to pack yourself carefully. So I filled the car, which is obviously that means of leaving, with packing paper. It's absolutely chockers full of packing paper, as you would pack your crystal and glass and crockery, so as that your broken self is still held together to get you out of there.
Yeah.
And then I wrap the car with bubble wrap, because that is the only thing that you can take with you, and it's your only means of getting you out of there.
Yeah.
Too. So it's important to make sure nothing happens to that too. So this one is The Leaving. Then there'll probably be more iterations of leaving series is what I have planned, but this one pertains to leaving leaving an abusive relationship. And I'm currently selling these sets of 11 photographs of documenting this. So this is another happening.
Yep.
Of documenting this happening as a bundle, multiple bundles on OpenSea, so that you become the audience to this. And part of the 25%, I think I put 25% of this, of the proceeds from this will go to a charity called Shine, and they not only do they help support people who need to leave abusive relationships, they also support the children with accommodation, with counselling, but they also support programs for men
Yep.
who are slipping into that habit of being abusive, into those patterns. So they actually help solve the problem, not just move it onto something else.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear too, because you gotta attack things at all levels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't
And
just.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of guys out there who don't know what they're doing, but there are a lot of guys out there that do, or people who do have behaviours that take them over,
Yeah,
and they don't like that and they want to change it. So I think this is great to have an opportunity for that, so that there's no shame, so that they can actually progress too. I think that's a really good way forward. So I really love that. That
nice.
yeah. So
Did
those are
you
the works for it.
did you leave the car there for like a certain amount of days?
No, it was about 6 hours.
Yep. Okay.
So packing it with paper, wrapping it, making sure it was all wrapped, and then obviously the photographing of it too.
Yeah. I was just sort of wondering what passed it by, if anybody's seen it. When it was.
Luckily, well, this was in a driveway,
Yeah.
so in kind of in a block behind house. So had no one but the neighbours could see, and I'd already pre-warned the neighbours when I moved in that I'd noticed. So
Yeah.
they just kind of look in and then go,
Oh yeah.
she's
Ray's
kind of at it again.
Ray's doing a thing.
She's she's doing the thing. So yeah, there was a lot of recycling that week.
Yeah. 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 No, I love it, and I love hearing how other artists just dive in deep on so many different levels. Sometimes myself, I'm thinking I'm just playing around on my computer. But then I think about it, I'm like, yeah, but I'm actually, what you're seeing at the end is actually my experience, and I put a lot of thought, or whatever's going on in my life at the time, and it might be good and it might be bad. And whether people actually pick up on that or not, but yeah, I love the way art does it on so many different levels. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I think I was talking to someone about this the other day that sometimes you don't notice until afterwards. Like you say, you're not purposefully trying to put any of yourself into the work or anything personal or any sort of message. But then once you step back from it, you can see there's something in it.
Yeah, definitely. There's
And
influences of what's going on in your world that yeah, it's like, oh, it did get in there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And then sometimes you're doing work, and I've done this, is you have kind of two names for the work, so you have two stories.
yeah,
So things like this, like it's quite a personal story. So for a while I'd held on to it and I had two stories for it. So I had a story that I was happy for people to know about.
yeah,
It wasn't quite so personal.
yeah,
And then I had my story.
yeah,
And I've talked to a few people, and a few people say that they also do this, is that, it's too raw or it's too personal, and you're a little bit afraid to put it right out there. So you kind of go, here's the nice story.
yeah. I can fully relate to that. The shadow play stuff that I do is derived from geodata, and it's a 3D landscape, and I'm pulling from places that I've been. I spent quite a bit of time in the military, and I don't.
Mm,
I tell people I was in there like I just did then, but I don't really tell people what was going on. I actually pull the data from places I've been overseas, and that's for me personally, and I know which
wow.
pieces are from which locations, and it reminds me of what was going on and whether they were some good times, some bad times. But yeah, I like it. I like having that stuff that's just for you personally.
And even the owners of those works, you don't tell them.
I have a couple, and I think
Yeah,
that's when I do. I have some good connections with some of my collectors,
yeah,
and if they ask, I'll probably tell them. But I'm not going to put it all over Twitter.
yeah. You don't
Or
feel the need.
no,
Yeah,
I don't. It's just for me, yeah, sort of thing. But then I do, yeah, I have a completely different story, which is still legit. It still pertains to
totally.
it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. So may as well just keep coming and look back on here. Precious things.
Precious things. So this is kind of precious things as well.
Yep.
So this one's called precious things. So these are the precious things that you take with you.
Oh, okay. So
If you
this
see what I
is
mean. Yeah, my
it's the same
website's
ones.
it's a little bit gnarly at the moment.
That's all right. No, I totally understand. Mine's like the same.
So
Yeah.
you think, oh, it's all done, and then you
Yeah.
make more work. You go, how am I going to fix that? I've
Yeah.
forgotten how to update my website.
Yeah. Cool.
It's the tech. I'm not the tech girl. You're the tech boy.
Hey, so you've got you're dropping on Hickok Nook soon?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be a video piece.
Yep.
So it'll be my genesis on Hen,
Nice.
which is pretty exciting. I know a lot of people are moving across there, especially with all these, the gas wars and ETH going up and down.
Yep.
I've sold some work on Foundation. That's the work that you've got on the poster.
Yep.
And as I say, that the leaving is on OpenSeas along with some other photographic work as well.
Cool.
But yeah, this will be my first Hen piece.
How have you found sort of going from platform to platform? Have you noticed many differences?
Not too different between Foundation and OpenSea, but Hen is like, what's happened to my head?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, what have I got myself into?
Oh, it's done my head in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, objects and yeah,
Swaps and yeah.
I don't know what's going on. So I'm hoping this video will be put up, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, you'd be right.
We'll see how it goes.
You'll be right. Yeah, I was exactly the same when I got here in March, and I first put some work up on OpenSea, and I was lucky enough to get an invite to Foundation, and I had some stuff up there, and I was totally new, so I was probably expecting a little bit too much, just with all the hype that was going on, and they sat there for ages, and I was lucky enough to get my first piece on OpenSea, got picked up. But then I started hearing about Hickok Nook, and yeah, when I first got there, I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Like, what does swap mean? I didn't know. Had to have somebody hold my hand to.
I've only just learnt the words mint.
Yeah.
So where the hell is the mint?
Yeah, that's right. But I suppose after a while, I'm totally used to it, and I think that's what I like about it too. I like it. I think we were talking about this the other day. I like how it kind of makes you work a little bit harder. It's not so streamlined. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's gonna grow and grow. It'll just we've got lots of other platforms coming out too as well, but it's a bit like NFTs as well. They come and they go. Some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've probably noticed like the community is pretty amazing around Hen. Would you agree, or how have you found the community?
Look, I found the community at Hen, really good at Hen, but also just the quality of the work is comparable to the price of collecting it is so different because the work seems to be phenomenal. Like these are people who are really committed artists. These seem to be people who make art because they have to make art.
Yeah.
It's got real feels behind it. Yeah, and just astonishing stuff.
Yeah.
And next to no PFP. Not that there's anything wrong with PFP. Making a lot of people good money, changing people's lives, all of those things, but yeah, the Hen just seems to. It's like walking through the jungle and exploring. It's like it's just you're sort of wide-eyed and looking around.
And
wow,
your compass doesn't work, eh? Like you're kind of lost.
Literally wandering through.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, that's cool.
Where's that taking me? Oh, over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just sort of thinking when you said about the nothing wrong with PFPs, and I don't have any problem with PFPs. It's not my thing, but for me, it's just another level of this whole NFT thing, or crypto art, I suppose you want to call it. And maybe I'd like to ask you, as like a traditional artist coming into the crypto art space, some of the challenges, or just the different levels that you have found. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's like traveling.
Yeah.
You have a perception of what something's going to be like. You can't help but do that. Think, oh, it's going to be like this when I get there, and it isn't.
Yeah.
And I think you have to unlearn a lot of things, and you just got to be open. And I think the good thing is that everybody starts in this space as a newbie.
Yeah.
There's no, oh, do you know who I am? No, I don't. Do you know who I am? No.
Nope.
Well, great. We're on the same level then.
Yeah.
And the people are willing to help you and give you as much knowledge as they can, help you along, which is completely different to obviously like the professional and fine art world. It's more of a community here,
yeah,
and a collaboration, whereas it's competition
on
the other side, on the flip side. And it's a flexing and competition, and a lot of people just aren't into that. They only want to make their art and be appreciated for making their art.
Yeah. See, I've never been in the traditional art world, so I have no experience whatsoever.
Yeah. Look, I went into my art training as a mature student, so I basically went in thinking, I'm going to do this for me. I know I'm not going to make a living out of it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for fun, to express myself and what have you. And I would get so so pissed off with that whole Emperor's New Clothes type art speak and openings and things like that. And that I'd just say to all the lecturers, what the fuck? I hate this. They say, you're just going to have to suck that up, because that's how it is if you want to get on here.
That's how we do it. I suppose though, we are starting to see that in the crypto art scene as well. There are certain ways we do things now. I listened to a big space the other day. They were talking about how marketing is winning over art. And really valid point. And there were valid points from everyone, but I was kind of thinking, well, that's the scene that we are creating. We are very centric to Twitter, so therefore we only have 140 characters, and the people with the most followers do get the more engagement because of the algorithm. And I suppose we will, as the scene matures, there will be things that this is how it's done in the crypto art space.
Yeah. We can be responsible. We can't just sit back and complain about it. The in real life world there's a lot of things that have been ingrained for centuries, social conditioning, all of those things that, okay, yeah, you can try and change it a bit, but, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So you can sit back and you have a bit of a whinge and a moan about it. But here it's so new. We can all change it. We can all make it what we'd like it to be. How friendly it is, how unfriendly it is, how flex-centric it is, or not, how supportive it is or not, because we're all here right now together building it, so we can do that. And I get what you mean about Twitter. I mean, it is about that quick impact and get some engagement. So, I've even my short time here seeing people just posting their artwork with a brief explanation to, these amazingly curated videos introducing their work, that you think, geez, that's almost half a movie.
Yeah.
To get, and like, use what you can to do it. I see that and I get that. But I kind of see that there may well be another platform that would come out.
I think there will be.
I think there will be. And I think that would be a great thing to come out, so that it isn't, that's not Twitter.
Yeah. I think too, like this week, like I said, I've been on a bit of a break, and I think once you can have a little bit of a disconnect, and almost gain a little bit of control back from, instead of being addicted to the algorithm. It gives you a little space to, bit of headroom to find and dig a little deeper. And I think that's what I really like too, like sort of digging and finding the artists that I like, and then trying to find a little bit more about them, a bio, and see what makes them tick. I just I hope everybody sort of does have a little bit of a disconnect sometimes, and find something new instead of just what's on their feed.
Yeah, and I think having a bit of, like, time speeds up on Twitter. Everything's rush, now, next. I think, like you're saying,
Crazy.
that kind of, yeah, and it disappears. So I think, like you say, spending a bit of time going, I'm just going to focus on this and do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing to do. What if they turned Twitter off for a day a week? They just went, nah, that's it.
Yeah.
We're all going to have a break.
Yeah, I've caught myself out a couple of times. I've been sitting there, have a feeling, oh no, I've got to, because I just finished a massive big project, and I was in a really good workflow. I loved it, and I was dropping like 4 editions at a time. And when I stopped, I had this feeling like, oh my god, I haven't put anything out for like a week. And I went and had a look, and it was only 2 days ago. Yeah.
I've got new people in the space DMing me now for advice. It's like, geez, I haven't been here for a year yet. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen a lot of new people, especially coming into Hacking Nook, and it's kind of amazed me too. Like, they are used to the Ethereum sites, and I'm surprised that. It's probably because I've been in Hen for so long. I was like, don't you know that? Don't you know that's how it's done? Which is always funny. But yeah.
And now Sol platforms coming up now as well.
Yeah.
Art too. So it's diversifying, and it's connecting more readily with cryptocurrency.
Yep.
And I think educating yourself on both sides, the NFT world and currency too, is quite important at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's tied together. I've been trying to do it myself. I know right at the start, I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, and then slowly realizing, dig into that because it'll help you in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does, and it helps you understand a bit more about the ebbs and flows in the NFT world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's not easy to find time, and I think I've had a whole month with this position of doing the selecting works and curating, and just trying to help a few other artists buoy them up and promo them.
Yeah.
And try and be on Twitter and try and hold down a full-time job as well it's been a hell of a couple of months. And I know that my creativity has kind of suffered from that. So I'm looking forward to doing this drop, and then starting to make a bit more work, spend a bit more time, like you say, have a little bit of a step away.
Yeah.
And get back to why I'm here.
Definitely. I was curations come up quite a bit, and I see that is your job at the moment for Hastings City. Is it Art Gallery?
No, I was with I'm no longer with them, but I was with Hastings City Art Gallery. I'd worked with them before, and then I moved to Auckland.
Yeah.
And then I moved back down to Hawke's Bay, and they had recently suddenly lost their director.
Yep.
And the art liaison administrator, artist liaison administrator.
Yeah.
And because I'd worked with them before, I'd been home back here for a week and a half, and I just thought, maybe I should start looking for some work. And they called me and said, look, you've got to come in here and help us out. So I got in there, and I was sorting out the calendar. Oh God, it was a bit of a mess.
Can you I've never sort of been in. Probably you're the first curator I've really talked to. Like, if I'm an artist and I've got a body of work, is there anything that I should do to maybe make it stand out to a curator, or just give me a rundown of what you're looking for and what the process is.
There's several different ways that you can work as a curator. So a curator, you can focus on one artist, and a certain collection of that artist. So it's pretty easy now in the NFT world because people do put out a similar range of work. May not be all in one drop, but it is a similar range at a certain point. Like if we look at your work that you've got out, we can see the definitions between the different pieces that you've made.
Yeah.
But the ones that are actually built to be together.
Yep.
As such. So you may curate in that way, select a certain works. You might also do historic. So I might choose an artist and do your genesis right up to your current work. That's a pretty simple way to do it. But also you might have an idea. So for example, you might want to do an exhibition about Raecreate. You might want to do an exhibition by female artists, or you may want to put a message across yourself as a curator, but you're not using your work. So if I wanted to highlight issues around domestic violence, obviously then I'd select the work that I've made about with the car that's wrapped, the leaving, but then I'd also select artworks by other artists that have a similar message behind their works. You also, so it needs to merge conceptually as well as obviously aesthetically, visually. Or you may, like Apes Around the World, it was great. It was like, what's my reason for curating? So gathering these artworks together. So the reason is for it to be an investment. So, but at the same time, try and support upcoming artists. So it wasn't about going and buying Fidenza, which would be great, but not that the budget was going to go for that. So, but it was about really looking at researching artists that would be progressing and would be growing in the NFT world. Now, profile pictures type artists, obviously, they've either got already got a bit of cred, and it's the investment is through the white paper, whereas the fine artists, it is about that piece of work being desired to be owned. So artworks like the Fidenzas. So I invited some artists to, as well as putting a tweet out and saying, "Hey, show me your work." I did invite some artists as well. People like Empress Trash.
Yep.
Just an amazing artist, and one of the first on the NFT art scene. So historically significant artist that is still working and making art. So a great thing to have in a collection.
Yeah.
And that's only going to grow in value. And then a couple of other artists that are really starting to take off too, but that have genuine concepts behind their work, and you can really see that there's going to be a value in their work going forward.
Yeah.
So it takes a bit of research, as you said you've been doing, having a look at artists, having a look at their background. Don't necessarily have to be like formally trained or anything like that, but just showing their engagement in the art world, their commitment to their work, their practice. It was a great opportunity to explore and get out and about more in this space than just as me as an artist myself.
Yeah,
so
cool.
As actually going out there and having a look and investigating a bit further other people's work. So it's brilliant.
Yeah. Personally, I think curation is probably going to be key for a lot of collectors. I think I could imagine myself as maybe a collector coming from the traditional art world and landing in crypto land space. it's going to be pretty full on, and they're going to be presented with just a ton of work.
Yeah, insane amount of work to trawl through. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you, like, I suppose you could be a curator for a gallery that wants to put on a show, and just to show that bodywork and that idea behind it and the theme, and then you'd also be a curator to help collectors find work that will interest them.
Yeah.
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 So the curation of a collection rather than an exhibition. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you got plans to maybe sort of delve more into that for NFT collectors that need a hand to
Um,
find work, or?
Look, I'm definitely open to doing this again. Apes Run the World want me to become have put it to well, they've put it to the community vote, but they really would like me to become the permanent 101 curator. So for each round of investment,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. It'd be really great to get to bring someone along with that to sort of like get them involved in curation as well. So sort of spread that idea and some of that knowledge too. But yes, to have some personal collections too would be really great. So it's nothing better than getting to know somebody else
Yeah.
and finding great stuff for them that it's like giving them little gifts all the time. So watch their face light up and fall in love with what you present to them. It actually means something to them as well. So it's not just a quick aesthetic or this is gonna quadruple your wallet. It will help with that too. It'll do that too, but you'll actually enjoy owning this piece of work.
Yeah, true. And actually I've had a little taste of that because I've got a couple of collectors that I've gotten to know pretty well just through DMs as much as you can, and I always try to look at collectors' collection to see what they're into, and it is pretty rewarding. I've given them a couple of tips, and they've come back and they've gone, "Man, thanks so much for putting me onto that." Had one the other day. That one you tipped me off on a few months ago. I just managed to flip it for X amount of ETH, and that was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, man, that's mint. And then also I suppose me as an artist, that helps bring a little bit of value to the relationship as well. But it's on the level, it's not like we're just doing it just to make money or anything like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, but it's part of the relationship. It shows they're investing in you as an artist and you as a person too. So as a person, you're not being a selfish person. You're not being arrogant and selfish and self-centered. You're saying, okay, I know that you love my art. You're not just saying, hey, look at me, 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 me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're promoting other people
Yeah.
as well. And
Yeah.
art that you love shows, and the work that you'd promote to them shows a bit more about yourself and about the sort of work that you enjoy too. I mean, I don't really, apart from unless you're doing it only for the money, there's no point in having a collection that you don't enjoy looking at. I mean, I have got artworks all over my walls, but there isn't. Some of it's worth a decent amount of money, some of it isn't. But I've only got stuff on the wall that I enjoy looking at.
Yeah, I'm just about to do that myself. I love my collection, but I don't get to see it often enough. My studio now has got bare walls, so I'm looking at trying to find a printer that can print out some good works. And I'm really looking forward to the day where it is. I have got these works around me in my living space, because it influences you, and it's, yeah, I think that's why you like it. That's why I collect. Yeah,
This you have artworks. Art is made to be thing. It's not meant to be wrapped up and put in a storeroom. It is meant to be seen. It's so sad when you go into the back of a gallery and it's all sitting there in boxes and racks, and you're like, oh, that's just tragic.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it out there.
Yeah, but I suppose you need to. I suppose that's one good thing about crypto art though, is you don't need a big massive gallery. It's you can have it in the metaverse. Are you kind of looking forward to that, where we can would you live in the metaverse for a little while just to take it all in?
Oh my God, I would just love it. I'd love to have a gallery.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, lots of ideas about having a space in the metaverse and what you could do there with artwork and artists. So
Yeah.
that'd be great. But yeah, it's still working that stuff out and how to get in there, how it all works. So yeah.
I think, like I was just thinking, it's like, yeah, okay, you might not have the skills to do it, and I think this is what I love about this community is that you can reach out and find people with those skills, and that are most of the time pretty willing to go, yeah, I'm into that, let's do that. I know my mate Beats, Wide Awake Beats, doing the Here and Now experience. I just love that project. He's like done it for the third time. He's built a 3D space in Unity, and then holding a gallery space, but then holds live events in that gallery space. It's pretty amazing, and I kind of think that's where it's at. I was just thinking. I was just thinking the other day, he can run these live events just like in real life, but then when nothing's happening and he's doing it already, he's getting in emerging artists, and people can go in there for free and have a look in the lobby. I think
there's so much you can do, and especially at this point, thinking in different ways, because there's less travel, there's COVID, there's less travel, less people are out and about. You just can't go and do the things that you would normally do. Like I went to a concert a couple of weeks ago on Roblox.
Yeah, cool.
And it was phenomenal. And the amount of people that were able to access, that's, it's mind blowing. You can't put all those people in a stadium.
No.
You don't have to spend months and months touring and getting exhausted and all of those things, clamoring for tickets and standing there in a crowd full of 1 billion people and trying to get to the bathrooms.
Yeah. You can just nip off to your own.
Yeah. Not that there isn't. Yeah, exactly. Not that there, live music, great, live events, great. But when you can't, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to at all.
Yeah, and there is an actual real vibe there. Like I find it in some of the Twitter spaces. They're so cool. Like, you just got heaps of people all around the world just vibing on the same thing, and it's legit. I like it.
Exactly, and that's kind of it's kind of what that story is behind my work. When I say it's a performance, it's a happening. You get to own that moment.
Yeah,
you get to be part of that moment by owning that image, those images, or that image of that moment in time that I've captured. So you actually get to be part of that exclusive experience.
Yeah, I like that.
And so is like joining a concert or joining a theatre show or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we're coming up to the top of the hour.
Cool.
I don't want to keep you too long. It is Friday night down here, and I know everybody's got stuff to do. We're going to do the picks of the week. Hopefully I haven't sprung this on you, but I'm going to show an emerging artist that I like. Is there anything you'd like to add before we sort of wind things up?
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, I have a secret, kind of geeky thing that I do.
Yep.
Apart from being into sci-fi. So I am also a graffiti hunter.
Nice.
So I don't do graffiti, but I'm a graffiti hunter. So again, it's a bit like owning that moment, because graffiti is very ephemeral. It's here and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my dirty little secret of what I do on the side. What would be yours?
My dirty little secret?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You'd be happy to tell us, obviously.
No, yeah, I just
break it to Rose while she's listening in.
I just got to try and think what it would be. Okay, yeah, here we go. And I did this last night. Thanks to my daughter, I are starting to actually enjoy musicals. it started when she's like, "Hey, let's go to." I'm trying to
Like
remember
proper
the name.
musicals,
Yeah.
not just Disney.
No. Well, yeah. Well, we watched Cats last night. And yeah, I suppose it's really it's funny. It's like okay, I'm actually kind of liking this, and yeah, that would be my dirty little secret at the moment.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, you've
Yeah.
got to watch. So you're watching Madge P, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, we watched that ages ago. Actually, I think it could have started. I got my daughter into like because I'm DJing vinyl and all that,
Yeah.
and one of the first records I got her was The Sound of Music.
Yay!
Yeah, and I think we must have listened to because like, my daughter loved it, and she's like playing it over and over and over again. So I got to know that one really really well.
Yeah.
And
It's not Christmas without The Sound of Music.
yeah, and then started to watch them. I
That's so cool.
found the movie for her, so yeah, I've probably watched that like a billion times.
That's so cool. I love it. You just got to work your way up to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh well, hold on. Here we go. And it's cool that my mum's here too. She's not listening, but I actually that was the very first musical I got to see live was the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Did it blow your mind?
Yeah, it did. I grew up with my brother's record collection. He was older than me, and they like every Friday in Christchurch they could go to the picture theatre, and everybody would get dressed up, get on the purse, and they'd do the whole interaction with the movie. Like they knew all the words. So
totally.
I was listening to the vinyl. He had the vinyl of it, and I listened to that heaps. And I must have. Yeah, and then the show came to New Zealand. I think they were New Zealand actors because Robert Muldoon, which was a prime minister, he was actually the narrator in it. Yeah,
blimey, the prime minister.
Yeah, he was ex at the time, but yeah, it was quite cool. But yeah, mum took me to it, and I must have only been, I don't know, 13, 14.
Jeez, your mum's pretty cool.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's awesome. So actually, yeah, now that I think about it, I've been getting into musicals for quite a long time.
Oh, there we go.
But I don't tell.
Watching Glee soon.
Yeah, I don't tell anyone. So don't tell anyone.
So there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hush, hush.
Oh, awesome.
See.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, look, I'll take that opportunity so I can escape, and we're gonna have a look at picks of the week. Have you got somebody an emerging artist that you'd like to showcase? Have we think about it, and I'm gonna bring up mine, and it's actually somebody we both know. Just give me a sec here.
Wow.
Okay, so my pick of the week is my man 328 Jesse.
Yeah, my boy Jesse.
Yeah. Me and Jesse go way back anyway, so it's a little bit of a cheat, but I kind of he's new
Stole
on.
it from me.
Is it yours? Oh, we can both have him, and you can talk about it as well if you want. But yeah, I'm so stoked he came over to Hikik Nook. He was on Ethereum, and I think he's found his home on Hikik Nook, and I love his work because one, I know where it is. It's where I used to live, so I know the haunts. But what I really like about his work is I can just really tell it's him exploring his backyard, which is the Port Hills and around Littleton. Littleton's got a lot of history behind it, and I don't know. I just like his photography. I can tell it's personal. It's gritty.
Yeah, it's gritty. It's raw. It's no messing about.
Yeah.
And it is. Yeah. No, I totally get the feels of it. There's some amazing photographers and photography out in the NFT world at the moment, and there's a lot of people who are really well versed in using lots of enhancements on their photos. Nothing wrong with that. I held a space a while ago about that. That's all good.
Yeah.
But this has got none of that, and still stunning images. And I'm the same. I don't manipulate my photographs unless it's super, super obvious, like the matches. But his work, I think if you over manipulated it, would be ruined.
Yeah, I think it too. And I'm kind of new to photography, and I've really enjoyed finding my love for photography. Um, and I think sometimes, like, art, 3D, abstract, whatever, boom, it's in your face. But with photography, and especially Jesse's stuff, I like to just sit there and take it in. You were going to pick Jesse as well?
Oh, look, yeah, you feel like you honestly feel like you're having a wander with him.
Yeah.
You're sitting there right next to him in those real personal little spots that he's taking you to.
Yeah.
So I love that. Um, Another New Zealand boy he's just amazing. He's so new to the space. Beautiful photography. Is Ryan. So he's at front fourth. So number 4.
Oh,
Number 4, and then TH. There he
Right,
is.
here we are.
Only really recent to the space. So open to learning. I said to him, you've got to get up and get into spaces and talk about your work and show your work. And it was just, when I first saw his work, I thought there's no way that's his work. I think he's only about 18,
Yep.
17, 18. But the shots he's taking and his composition is like just stunning. Like just roll through a few of his things.
Yeah, I'm just checking the one Path to Mountains on Foundation. That's stunning.
And he's so young, but he's really humble.
Yep.
Really, really humble and really open to learning. And he just needed that little push to go, hey, look, dude, this is good. Just get out there.
Yeah.
Tell people. And he's out and about and he's talking to people, and it's so good to see. And he deserves it. He deserves some he deserves a success from this. I mean, there's lots of New Zealand is a beautiful place to photograph. It's really hard to take a shit photograph in New Zealand.
Yeah.
It really is. But he shows places like this. So he's taking a picture of the motorway.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy to have that on my wall.
Definitely. Yeah, it's
cool.
It's gorgeous color grading, eh? I love the muted tones.
Yeah, and his composition, he's not so traditional. So he's combined that traditional photography with a real modern look at what else he can put in the composition. So that's a real image of New Zealand. He hasn't cut out the motorway to go, oh yes, it's almost uninhabited. It is inhabited, but that's okay. And he's put that in the photograph.
Yeah, and I think that advice to anyone who's listening that's new to the space. I know it's hard to get yourself out there and talk about your work, but we've all been here, and seriously, this is one community that doesn't mind and can put up with a few mistakes every now and again. And I just encourage everybody, jump in as many spaces as you can.
Oh, totally.
Take as many opportunities as you can to get more of your story and more of your personality out there. I sort of harp on it all about the time, 140 characters or whatever it is on Twitter. It's just not enough. And a lot of the times that's why I'm collecting art. It's because I get to know the artist better. I connect with you. I really like what you're doing. I like your vibes. I like your values. And your art's dope. And it just sort of combines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's such a great opportunity, and for artists as well. In real life, artists, you put it in a gallery or on your website, and you don't get to talk to anyone.
No.
You just hope they get it, or you've written your piece that's next to it well enough that people understand it. But I hate going to galleries and sitting there reading. It's not about reading.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't really think about that in the space. We do have so many more tools to
great.
Get our story out there, websites, video.
You can make a video,
audio,
having
whatever.
The spaces are just brilliant because you can go in there and you can listen and talk real time, get information, like you say, introduce yourself, learn, meet new people, learn about work, learn about the tech, learn about a platform, like anything you can name, someone will know something.
Yeah.
Popping in and out of spaces. And look how huge spaces are becoming. Rooms of, over 200 people, just lining the top of your phone. All these purple spaces coming up. And you're just like, oh, it's
And
so great.
I've got sales from just being in a space. It's real funny,
Yeah.
You're in there, you're talking about it, you got your pin tweet, check your wallet, boom, 3 sold. Wow. Oh yeah, it's all those people that I was just in the room with. They were listening to me, which
Yeah,
is
and
which
my
is cool.
first, my first sale came from a space as well, and it happens a lot.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a definite goer. People do it.
do it. Alrighty. Hey, look, we'll wrap this one up. Thank you so much, Ray. It's been really cool getting to know
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. So this has been Interviews from the Other Side. It will be recorded and put up on YouTube. Any final words, Ray?
Oh, look, just thanks for having me on here. It's been really cool. It's always good to chat with you.
Yep.
I love your work,
Thank
and
you.
I love what's going on here too.
Yep.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Everybody, get out there and do your stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ray. This is Zero Alpha. This has been Interviews from the Other Side. We're out. Oh, good.